removed enough to spend their time to embrace it.
Yeah, I have this week, of course. And we're listening to somebody in the background. We'll be listening to more. Shut up. We must listening to more of that in a moment. As I continue on with another axe, because the best weapon in this is a pencil. I'm going to be sketching out the tower from earlier on. If you caught me earlier on, we were drawing out God of War, and we were drawn Atreus in another video. And earlier on, we were doing the dragon. So yeah, I forgot Bamea. We've got the snake still to do, which is that side there, which I'll turn the camera in a moment or later on when I'm doing it. But now we're going to be doing the tower. Oh, greedy doo-doos. I'll put in a few characters. I don't know if you can see that in the pencil there, but I put Brock because I want to get rid of this. I don't know what it is in Mario, but I know they're there. Little creatures that attack you. I want to get rid of that, so I'm going to have to cover it up with something. I don't want to put loads more mountains because it would just look overbearing because there's so much grey already on this wall and the great tower that we're going to be doing in a moment. Now, we've got mountains off in the background. Like I say, I don't want to have too much because I've already got quite a bit in there already. And there's the snake. And so we're going to be not sketching the Brock because Brock is something that won't take me too long. He's quite a basic character. Kind of similar to if you mix Atreus and God of War at the same time with the bold. So there's no need for hair or any detail there. Just the face, which if I'm just drawing a general face, especially if it's a pixie person, it's nice and easy and we'll get it done. But the tower is what I'm going to be doing now. And as I go around, if I see something, I think I'll have a go at that. Now, as it's being inspired, while I'm listening to this playlist. Again, my guys and my girls, I am Blut084, BLUT084 Art. And the games, you normally would catch me gaming or doing some VR stuff. If you wanted to see more of that, check in the playlist or look beside at the end of this video where there will be some links. But we are live, so you can leave me a comment at any point as I get on and get this done.
Making it their own.
I really enjoyed reading about people who played the old series when they were younger, and then they came back to this. Now they're all fathers. They have their sons, or like their mothers. They have their daughters, and they can relate to this change with the game, and they can relate the story that we've been telling.
Somebody out there.
Then I'm going to have to get a reference up.
Christmas card for us that we actually used for our Christmas cards in the studio. Graffiti is big in Brazil and South America. The real God of War there. It was just cool to see Kratos and Atreus' adventures spray painted on buildings and their interpretation of how they could look. I remember seeing the promo for Tina Guo's cello music video that she was making. She had like an axe and she was like really cool, like she like posed for it. And then the music video came out and it was just amazing.
Sonny Legend, I think he was always a legend before this, but became even a greater legend in my eyes once I saw all the God of War love he was putting out there. It was so good that I know even people in the studio were reaching out directly to him just to get more captures of just he was making the game look amazing and making every one of us feel great.
Being able to change the face in photo mode has resulted in a lot of wacky and very funny moments. Seeing fans be sort of directors in themselves and take our content and make something more out of it has been great.
We've been seeing that stuff. We posted, we retweeted. We're fans of them.
One of the fans made a small scene from Alpine, recreated it in Legos. To make it really pretty spot on.
That's something I have done, but that's more of a stand. You've seen me do that one? You've seen that one on live stream?
There was a massive clay sculpture of Kratos on top of a troll.
That there is what I'm trying to create, what you can see in front of you. Will I do it? Probably. Will I do it well? Probably not. Right. I've done so much shit to another practice room, because the first one that I did here, which was Mario, was just a practice room, and I went up and did loads of others. Stopped doing that for a while and I have to refresh my talents, like I'm doing with all the paperwork, artwork, and digital artwork. Teaching myself as I teach myself.
Every single time I saw somebody complaining about how hard the Valkyries were online. It made my heart just burst with joy. Thank you for exploring with us. It means a lot.
Change can be really scary, but it meant a lot that you all embraced it and trusted us. And thank you for that.
I want to say thank you for just all your positive support.
And it really is your reception of our work that makes us want to try harder and do better to impress you guys next time around.
It's not an exaggeration to say that like this has changed my life. And
Thank you for going on this
Over
journey.
there, crying.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. 谢谢. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Obrigado a todos os nossos brasileiros que jogaram o jogo.
Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Mahalo Lila.
Thank you.
Mahalo! Whoa! Advert music, go away. They give me copy strikes. Can you see that? Probably not, because it's black on black, black on all black. We're going to be seeing our level sketches, and I do apologise if you can't see them, but I will give you close-ups later on, as I always do.
You send a broken mortal to defeat me.
Yes, I know. Friggin' did. You did!
After thousands of years, Pandora's box was finally opened. The power of the gods.
We've been playing ever since. You'll know this seemed like manna.
You are still just a mortal. Every bit as weak as the day you begged me to save your life. I am not the same man you found that day. The monster you've created has returned to kill you. You have no idea what a true monster is, Kratos. Your final lesson is at hand. Afraid to fight your nature. Embrace your death. Rejected me. A god. Now, you have no power, no magic. All that is left for you is death.
I seem to be dead now. Oh well. You got locked down.
Sorry, great Kratos.
The battle was not over. The gods, it seemed, had a final rift for Kratos.
I still have allies in Olympus, Ares. Now, you will see how strong I am. I remember how you saved me that night. I was trying to make you a great warrior. You succeeded.
Kratos had done the impossible. A mortal defeating a god. Ares was no more.
Make your offerings for me. Decide if they're worthy enough. I offer nothing.
You presume to seek audience with all, and yet you bring no offerings. Bold, stupid, but bold. Although you must have good reason to seek the order carrying such a mark. Right. Hello and welcome to PlayStation Grenade. God of War will go down as one of the greatest games of 2018. The father-son journey of Kratos and Atreus is only the beginning, and while we are waiting countless years for a sequel to pop up, I thought we should take a look at the hidden messages, cultural references, nods to music and film, and a few secrets too. Inevitably, there will be a few narrative spoilers along the way, but if you're ready, let's go through 21 Easter eggs found in God of War. Oh, before we start, I need to get something out of my system. Boy. How many times Kratos says boy? Let's crack on. The game opens with Kratos cutting down trees in a scene very similar to the 1980s movie Commando. Arnold Schwarzenegger does quite well with his puny axe and sizable tree-carrying skills, but of course, our Kratos does things a little bit bigger and better. There's a few more similarities to Commando, as the story is about a father and daughter who are attempting to leave their past life behind them, but they find themselves attacked at their wilderness home. The key difference is that Kratos and Atreus don't feed the deer, they straight up burn. Does that mean? Remember the God of War E3 demo from back in 2016? About halfway through the demo, Kratos and Atreus walk across this bridge, only to be ambushed by a troll. In the final release of the game, this jump scare doesn't happen, and instead, the dialogue makes reference to this changing.
I half expected there to be a troll under that bridge.
The troll fight is still present in the game, but happens a little bit later instead. Same outcome though in both versions. R.I.P. random troll. The God of War dev team openly acknowledges Dark Souls as a source of inspiration for their combat controls in the game. To honor Dark Souls, a small critter can be found early on in the game, which is bloody hard to kill. This crystallized little entity looks to be a nod to the crystal lizards found in Dark Souls, and guess what? They were notoriously annoying to find and bludgeon too. God of War brought in another actor to play Kratos this time around. This is because the mocap needed to create the game required someone with similar physical attributes to Kratos. Up steps Chris Judge, a hulking 6'3" actor with dulcet tones perfect for the aging Kratos.
I warned you.
Judge is best known for playing Teal'c in the sci-fi
Yes, he is.
SG-1. That character's trademark catchphrase was
Indeed.
and lo and behold, it makes a brief comeback in God of War.
Indeed.
During a key battle with Grendel of the Ashes, Atreus and Kratos come out victorious, leading to this throwaway line.
Beauty troll.
This is actually a nod to the first Avengers movie back in 2012, the scene where Loki meets the Hulk face to face, and this happens.
Beauty troll.
Midway through the game now, so spoilers are plentiful. Kratos and Atreus eventually reach this puzzle in which they have to name the seasons of the year, and this interaction takes place.
Why start with winter?
From summer, they say.
I knew that one.
Quiet, Ed.
It's like music either. Got
The song the head is about to start singing looks to be an old Carole King song called You've Got a Friend, and the iconic line, winter, spring, summer, or fall.
Winter rain, bells in our window, making our nation come on.
I sang this to me as a child, so I can see why the creators would include this in the game.
No more.
Although God of War may be a remake of sorts, the story does follow on from the original games back on the PS2 and PS3. The game makes repeated references to the previous saga, such as Kratos has a huge hole in his scar through his torso from the moment he looked to have
You're
killed
just like
himself at the end of God of
hiding
War 3.
behind.
There's loads more. The returning Blades of Chaos, the cameo from Athena, and even their
Somehow get rid of that then. I can get more of that green that I got loads of. Yes. Right, hiding Gazelle. We've got Mimir. No, not Mimir. We've got, what's his name? Over there at the bottom. Sorry, can't see. Popping up behind the other one, as he does in the game. He sort of hides away. Whereas Brock, he's like, yep, I'm here. I got fucking one. I love him. I would have liked to have put him around the corner, but I think that's kind of perfect. Put the character there, and now we've got to do the snake next. Should be fun. That's all sketch. That's as much sketching as I feel it should be. So, we need to do the snake, which is the other way around. Give me a minute.
When wearing this in that game, it increased the enemy attacks by 400%. Has anyone found that skin or costume in the new God of War?
No, please do something useful.
Another subtle nod to God of War 2 and the Sisters of Fate are referenced to, with this interaction between father and boy.
What does it say?
Boy!
Fate. No good comes from them.
But without a doubt, the greatest reference back to the original God of War trilogy comes in the shape of the treasure map for the boat captain's key. Back in God of War on the PS2, the first task Kratos undertakes is to defeat a Hydra, which he does by impaling it through the ship's sail. He then goes into the Hydra to save the boat's captain, or does he? He himself.
Thank you. Thank the gods you came back for me.
I didn't come back from you.
Later on in the game, Kratos meets the boat's captain once again.
Go, fool! You won't drag me down to that cursed river!
There was a task I thought you were lost. Still completed.
You again? Go!
After being dropped to his certain death, the boat's captain reappears in God of War 2 during Kratos' fight with the barbarian king. Ulrich summons the dead to fight alongside him, and one of those countless enemies happens to be the boat captain, who reacts like this.
No.
Okay.
You again?
And a cup of smoke. We, shove the pissing pencils out the window. Don't tell the neighbors.
Which reads, he could have saved me. He had my life in his hands, and still he let go. I may have been a mere boat captain, but he treated me like I was nothing. He is to blame for my torment here. I hope he suffers in Hades as I have. Damn the ghost of Sparta. Back in the new God of War now, and the boat captain's key treasure has more to add to this subplot. Reading, with the boat's captain in the belly of the Hydra, the key was mine. I travelled to a new land, but my ship wrecked and sunk. So the story of that key and the boat captain is not yet over. Expect to pick this one up when God of War 2 rolls out. In God of War, the sons of Thor, Modi and Magni may sound a little familiar.
Your father demands it too. And where do you think you're going?
They are voiced by VO heavyweights Nolan North and Troy Baker, who superbly played another set of famous brothers in another PlayStation exclusive, Uncharted. Both have also appeared in The Last of Us, which was a huge inspiration to the God of War universe.
Right then, let's go. Pencils done. Let's get going. Let's get these pencils working. Oh my god, the size of my pencil disappeared.
This is part of a side quest.
Oh
The
no.
mission family business ends on a boat, but just before you can leave the area,
So,
Kratos
let's
is
make
attacked by this gentleman.
serpent.
Dispatching him drops a shattered gauntlet of ages. When equipped, the animation resembles the Infinity Gauntlet and can be upgraded to achieve extra damage and other perks. The rune slots can be upgraded, and around the world it's possible to find all 6 Infinity Stones from the Marvel Universe, but they've been adapted for copyright reasons. But keep in mind, you'll only require 3 to fully utilize the Infinity Gauntlet. Oh, you'll also need Dragon Tears too, so this quest will take you a long time. If you were lucky enough to pick up one of the special editions of God of War, you'll get this cloth map to savor. Well, this bad boy holds a secret. A group of super
Okay guys, so I'm going for something like that.
somehow figured out what
Let's see how we can do
the secret
over there.
In short, Kratos must stand atop of the Muspelheim Tower on the center circle. Once in position, face the top, then turn left to the fire, back to center, right, left, center, down to the floor, right, left, center once more. If all is right, a gong will acknowledge your acts. Now step forward and receive your reward. By the way, if it doesn't work, leave the area by the door behind and return again. The legendary axe pommel is pretty useful too. I'm going to throw this one in quite quickly here. Have you noticed the resemblance the statues around the world have with the Lord of the Rings? The Watchmen in particular look straight out of Gondor, and there's even a mission where Atreus picks up the ring, which starts to speak to him. I may be clutching at straws here, and on second thoughts, it's probably more likely the Lord of the Rings films borrowed from Norse mythology rather than the other way round. But I'm not sure. What do you think? To end, let's look at the brilliance of foreshadowing in God of War. That's where you hint at something early on, which then comes to fruition later in the game or story. If you've got to this point in the video, I'm sure you've finished the game, but if you haven't, quick run while you can. During the conversation in which Kratos tells his son he's a god, Atreus asks,
Can I turn into an animal?
Turn into an animal. No, I do not think so.
Those that have finished the game know that Atreus is actually the god Loki, and that question references Norse myth, which tells us Loki can indeed shapeshift. He's said to become a fish, a horse, and even a fly. He can also turn into human-like beings too. He's also said to be the father of Jormungandr, so expect a little time travel in future games. The foreshadowing even happens in the opening fight with the stranger. During the battle, Kratos drops a boulder on Baldur. There's a joke there. Is there a joke there? No joke intended. But there's actually a stone carving or painting on the rock, which gives away the plot of the game. The full carving is revealed in the last moments of the story, but the eagle-eyed view saw it in the first 30 minutes. So with that
Okay, so this is
foreshadowing,
T.
it's possible to break down so many more elements.
Where his jaw is going to be, I
I've
think.
noted around
I'm trying to guess, not get a single garden reference, so
but the one which stood out the
I'll
most
use that as much as
when
possible.
Dad and boy reach Odin's abode and discover the symbols of war from around the world. We already know about the Omega sign, which we've taken to signify the god of war in Greek mythology. But there are 3 other locations Kratos could be heading to after this trilogy. In the top left corner is the Eye of Horus from Egyptian
There you
origins.
go. There,
There's also a
guys.
scrolling pattern in the bottom left and right corners.
Be right in
Which
front
are
of it.
used in both Japanese symbolism and Celtic following pagans, which represent their 3 goddesses and 3 worlds controlled by the sun. The Japanese version uses black and white to signify good and evil, light and dark. I don't know about you, but feudal Japan would be an awesome place to visit as the ghost of Sparta. In fact, where would you like Kratos to go next? What about Egypt? That could be really cool. After seeing what Assassin's Creed have done there, I would love to see the God of War wreck all those babies. And finally, the secret ending that so many people have missed, which sets up the main antagonist for God of War 2. After completing the main campaign, take yourself and your boy for some rest and relaxation back at your home. Then sit back and enjoy this. Whoa. Kratos, I cannot wait for that one. So there we have it, 21 Easter eggs, references, and occasional secrets too. I do hope you've enjoyed this whistle-stop tour of God of War, and if you haven't played it yet, I implore you to do so. It's a real masterpiece. I'm Adam from PlayStation Grenades, and if you've made it to the end, do me a favour, write in the comments, @InFunMatch. I will reply to you. You have my word. Thanks for sticking around, I really do appreciate it. I will see you next time.
Oh, look at that. Okay. So there's a beginnings, not an end, of where the snake kind of looks where I need him to be. Same as I've done with all the other characters, because I'm going to need to put some other bits when I'm painting as well. And I think I'm going to have to go over certain bits to get the full effect of things. But things are things. Some of them have a look at the reference picture. That jaw really is bugging me. And the jaw doesn't do that. It does.
The story may be a bit hazy, so I thought now is a great time to get up to date on everything Kratos has been up to through his gore-filled life. So if you're ready, let's do this. Let's pick up the story when Zeus, the king of the gods, learns of a prophecy which will see him killed by a mere mortal man. The prophecy also describes the distinctive mark kings his murderer possesses. In fear of this marked warrior, Zeus informs his eldest children, Ares and Athena, who also happen to be the god and goddess of war, and tasks them with tracking down and ending this potential threat. Whilst pillaging and destroying the land, Ares discovers a small Spartan boy with extremely distinctive birthmarks and attempts to capture him. That boy is not Kratos, it's his younger brother Deimos. Kratos tries his utmost to protect his brother, but he's no match for the god of war.
Okay, so we've got his green beard, because everybody in this game has a beard, of course.
Kratos alive, because not only is she the goddess of warfare, but she's the goddess of wisdom too. So her brother agrees, and Kratos is forced to watch on as his brother is taken away. Fueled by his failure to protect his younger brother, Kratos honors Deimos through a full body tattoo, mimicking his brother's birthmarks. Over time, Kratos became a member of the Spartan army, hoping to one day avenge his little bro. His rage and lack of mercy saw him ascend the Spartan ranks. Eventually, he married Lysandra, and the two had a daughter named Calliope. He became a Spartan captain after recovering a mysterious healing element known as ambrosia in a painstaking battle with Ulrich and the barbarians. He used this ambrosia to save his daughter, who was moments away from death due to a plague ravaging the lands. Kratos and his thirst for war saw the Spartan army annihilate all opposition until the day the barbarians returned, led once again by Ulrich. The barbarian hordes easily overpowered and massacred the Spartans, and all Ulrich needed to do was kill the defeated Kratos. With his final breath, Kratos called to the god of war Ares and offered his life in return for victory.
Ares! Destroy my enemies, and my life is yours.
Seeing this as an opportunity to build the ultimate warrior and disciple, Ares instantly slaughters the barbarian hordes and binds Kratos to the blades of chaos, a constant reminder of his pledge to the god of
That looks like an altar.
Kratos continued to murder and pillage in the name of Ares and slowly lost his humanity. Only his love for his wife and daughter prevented Kratos from becoming the ultimate weapon of war Ares desired. So knowing this, Ares sent Kratos to destroy a temple created to honor Athena. The village oracle attempts to stop him, but consumed by rage and ambition, Kratos massacres all inhabitants. But the final two victims will haunt him for the rest of his life. Ares had sent Kratos' wife and child to that temple in the hopes he would murder the only things keeping his humanity alive, and thus becoming the ultimate weapon. Kratos, now devastated, finally realized he could no longer serve Ares and vows revenge for the murder of his family. The oracle curses Kratos to wear the ashes of his murdered wife and daughter for the rest of his life, leading to his unwanted nickname, the Ghost of Sparta. Upon breaking his vow to Ares, Kratos is captured and tormented by the Furies. The Furies were effectively oath keepers who punished anyone who broke a vow or promise. The three Furies kept Kratos in a dreamlike state, almost wiping his memories completely. Luckily for Kratos, Orcos, who physically holds broken promises on his body in these disgusting parasite-like tumors, saw the injustice of his pledge to Ares and assists him. The ghost of Sparta learns the only way to be freed is to kill the three Furies, which he does with surprising ease. With the job done, Orcos reveals that Kratos must kill one last person to truly free himself from the oath. Orcos himself. As he's the son of the Furies, all the oaths were transferred over to him. Kratos, slightly reluctant, does the dirty deed.
Through the murder, the slaughter of his wife and child, carnage forged from his relentless ambition.
Yes, indeed, Kratos' memories fully return, and once again, he is ravaged by the death of his wife and child. Poor guy, just can't catch a break. Now fueled by a desire to remove his nightmares, Kratos meets Persephone, the queen of the underworld, who offers the ghost of Sparta a better alternative, seeing his daughter again. But that comes with a caveat: he must give up all his godlike powers, which Kratos agrees to. Kratos reunites with his daughter, but the happiness is short-lived. Persephone reveals she has unleashed Atlas, a hulking great titan who will destroy the pillar that cradles the earth, killing all mankind and the gods of Olympus. Of course, Kratos can't stand for that and gives up his life with his daughter, and once again goes on the warpath against Persephone and Atlas. Due to Atlas' size, Kratos opts to chain him to the upper edge of the underworld, whilst he returns to finish Persephone. As she dies, her body explodes and the resulting force destroys the pillar. Luckily, Atlas is still chained into place and now holds the world on his shoulders for the rest of time. Kratos once again commits himself to serving the gods in the hopes of having his memories removed, but after a decade of servitude, he is a little pissed off to say the least, and lets the gods know.
10 years of it. I have faithfully served the gods for 10 years. When will you feed me on these nightmares?
Athena hears his calls and proclaims that if Kratos can kill Ares, the god of war, she will take his nightmares away. Kratos is more than happy to oblige, gaining revenge and losing his visions are all he has ever wanted, so off he trots to Athens to face Ares and his army. Kratos meets the local oracle who reveals the only way to defeat a god is through a mystical item known as Pandora's box, which so happens to be chained to another great hulking titan called Kronos. Kratos does what Kratos does and murders his way to Pandora's box. And just before he's about to open,
Right, that's done. That's as much as will need to be done on there for the snake or the serpent. We've got all the scales up and around. I've rubbed a little bit off on the thing, as you can see, but it doesn't matter. We've done Brock over there, you can see, and we've done the sketch work for the building. So all today's work is complete. I've got to do the axe around the tree here, but that won't take me 5 minutes, so I can do that on the painting stream. So yeah, today's Wednesday. That took me 33 minutes. I don't think that should be too bad. I might start painting. I'm going to start with that building, I think. So let's go mix up a nice bit of yellow. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click the links that will appear. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
But the gods had a greater vision for his future and ascend him to another level.
You will not